All right, we are live here at Seven Springs Winery. This is night 2 of the Camden County debates. I am one of the moderators, Matt Burns, along with my partner over here, the Gadfly, Dave Maupin. And we want to thank, first and foremost, Seven Springs Winery for allowing us to have this here. They've been really fantastic. It's a great facility. So if you haven't checked them out, please come down and do that. I want to thank Lake TV for covering this broadcast. They've just been absolutely amazing to work with. And so let's just give them a big hand real quick. Also, a couple other things real quick. We do have the city of Camden here, Camden police officers, and I would like to thank them for being here. In the city of Camden, they've just been great. The police chief, Jeff Beecham, he's just been fantastic to work with, and so I want to thank them. Also, our sergeant at arms tonight, Mark Cordula, sergeant with arms, actually. Show him an arm, would you? Show him an arm. And I also want to thank the Republican Club. If you haven't seen them, get in the back. They've got some cool giveaway stuff, and also would encourage you to join the club. They do a lot of really good things for this community and try to help us and get the word out. And they've really been a big help here tonight, so I want to thank them. And I want to ask the president of the club, Les Larson, to come on up. And he's going to talk about some of the giveaways, and then we're going to get started with a pledge and a prayer, and then we'll have Jeff Vernetti, state rep, come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Matt. I'd just like to welcome everybody. We're greatly appreciate everybody being here tonight, and those of you who were here last night as well. We want to thank the Central Committee for what they're doing and how they put this together with Matt and Dave. They've been real instrumental in putting all the agenda together and getting people here. And for all the candidates that have come, we really appreciate you coming, answering the questions, being able to walk around and talk with the people, and that's another thing each of you can do. If in fact you don't get your question answered from what they're talking tonight, take the advantage of it and talk to them one-on-one. We are from the Camden County Republican Club, and we do have a 250 celebration coming up, and we have a water bottle and a bag, and we're giving those away tonight. So make sure you can get one of those and take them with you. If you want to make a donation to the club, we greatly appreciate that as well. And if anybody's interested in the membership, I follow up on that as well. So thank you very much for being here tonight. So if you'd stand, and we're going to have the pledge, and then please remain standing following for an invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. And if you would all bow your heads quickly, we'll have a prayer, and then we'll get things going here. Dear Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for bringing all of us here tonight together. There's a lot of people in this room that really care for their local community, and it shows by them showing up. And if you're watching online, if you want to pray with us, that'd be fantastic as well. Now, I just ask you to guide these candidates, guide their words, and give them wisdom, and just guide their hand, Lord, because we know you are the master teacher, and we have a lot to learn from you. And so I ask this in your name, and I pray this in your name. Amen. Please be seated. All right, we're going to have our local state rep, Jeff Vernetti. He's got a couple inspiring words, I think, he's going to say, and we'll bring him on up here, and we'll get things going. Just grab one of those.
All right. You got me? All right. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate everyone's attendance here. And again, I'm sure we've got a great audience watching online. It's amazing that we do these things in this county. A lot of my peers that are state reps across the state, their counties and the counties they represent don't do things of this nature. It's fantastic that we give really the floor for people to come up and tell them a little bit about themselves. As you can see, most of the people up here, rightfully so, are nervous during these debates. They're not used to public speaking. You've got cameras, you've got a big room, microphones in front of them. So they've been able to do all that and put that aside and try to do things that's best for the community. So again, I want to thank everybody for being here. Especially want to thank both the Central Committee and the Republican Club for their continued support. Endorsed me 2 years ago and have continued to support my efforts in Jefferson City and in the community. I really appreciate both the Republican Club board, all the members members, and then, of course, the Central Committee. I know he's not here tonight, but want to thank John Beckett for his great stewardship of the Central Committee and what he's been able to accomplish as he moves on. As I like to tell him, to yell at me from the sidelines instead of as the president. But again, we want to wish John well and thank him for all of his great work. Again, of course, Les and the entire Republican Club board and all the volunteers, all the people that always work the tables. Thank you, folks. Matt and Dave, you guys have done a tremendous job kind of getting this going, coming up with good questions that I think represent what a lot of the audience wants to hear and gets the good conversation going. Will, to you and your Lake TV staff, thank you. You know, again, media is tough. This is expensive for them to put this on, and they're doing it for the betterment of our community, to let the people know that aren't being able to be here tonight or want to watch a question back. They're able to have that for us. And again, I know that we thanked them, but Seven Springs, what a great venue this is. Colton and Alexis, who moved to Missouri about 4 years ago and then took over the winery about a year ago. What a tremendous facility, and to them and their staff. I know we've done it, but let's give all those folks a big round of applause really quick. You know, 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to be in one of these, but these debates are really critical. You have an opportunity to have your ideas challenged and tested and really tried out amongst the people, because the majority of us that do this get most of our ideas from our constituents. That's why these conversations are so critical. Obviously, as Republicans, you know, we believe in liberty and small government, fighting for life at all costs, fighting for the Second Amendment. These are the principles that we're standing by, and again, continue to be tested. So what we have to do in these primaries is obviously find our candidates and then get behind him or her as we go into November and win all these seats against folks. As you see, the other party is moving more and more into the state and trying to divide us, and hopefully we can stand together through these debates. I know it's difficult, though, in this time. You know, social media can be a good thing to share ideas and give feedback, but also can be so toxic, and everybody knows that. Unfortunately, it just doesn't have to be. So I'd like to just challenge folks that are on social media, continue to do that, continue to bring up ideas and share ideas, question your leaders, question people in the party, question people that, you know, that's your right. But just speaking from this end of the microphone, it's way easier if we hear from you before a vote, before a meeting, before we have to make a decision on your behalf. It's easy to play armchair quarterback. I've been guilty of that, when you look at a decision someone makes and say, why did you do that? But then I didn't give he or she any of my thoughts going into it. Just speaking for myself, we would really appreciate, I know everyone can't be at every meeting. You can't be at every committee meeting. You can't come to Jeff City. You can't go to the courthouse all the time. But all these things are online. Stay engaged. All of our phone numbers are easy to get, emails are easy to get, and while you can post something on social media that might be helpful to the small group of people looking at that, but as we're in the trenches doing things, we're not oftentimes reading those things. So direct feedback is really appreciated, and I know on behalf of all the folks that spoke last night, many of them are here to watch tonight, and then of course the folks getting ready to go, we would all really appreciate that. But I think that this county really speaks for itself of how engaged we are politically. It's something that we should be proud of. Not many counties have this sort of engagement. So there's a lot of good ideas out there for folks that aren't in elected office, and we would certainly cherish those ideas. And that's one of the things I've tried to take to Jeff City. Was able to get a number of things accomplished the last 2 years, but most of that has been because of the support and the ideas that I got from the community, direct insight on bills, and that backup coming to Jeff City and being in committee hearings is just completely just invaluable to us. It really helps all of my peers and all the folks that are voting on things know how important our issues are to the rest of really the county and the state. But you know, you can do those things, you can accomplish things, you can work with people that don't necessarily agree with you politically, but still keep your beliefs, still keep your morals, still keep your convictions. Was able to pass 6 bills in my first 2 years and get some major things into the budget for our infrastructure and for our hospital, and did so by having one of the most conservative voting records in the House. So I'm really happy that I was able to do that and still keep what we truly are, which is as conservative an area as humanly possible possible, and that's what we want to carry into November, into next year, new leadership in the commission, and we want to continue those things moving forward. So I just wanted to, again, say thank you for all of the support and the feedback. We tried to really do a lot of things the last 2 years by having Camden County Days and Lake of the Ozarks Days at the Capitol. We're going to continue those, but I really encourage everybody to keep up this level of communication. I certainly couldn't do it without your support and ideas and beliefs. I know not everyone's going to agree with every decision I make, but I certainly would love that feedback before I have to make a decision and have a conversation with you, get your perspective, and we move forward. But again, I know it's been said, it is not easy for these people sitting up here. Many of them, this might be the first time they've ever talked in front of anybody with a microphone, on camera. So to everyone that went last night, everyone that's going to go tonight, we thank you. It is a really difficult thing to do this. I mean, I'm glad we give the opportunity, but it is very difficult to put you in these situations. You're handling it with grace and poise. So best of luck to those that are going to go tonight. Just keep your honesty flowing and let people know your ideas. If you guys don't have your questions answered, they're all walking the room and happy to talk to you. So again, thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to it. Best of luck for everybody last night and tonight. And really, God bless everybody here in Camden County, and God bless the great state of Missouri. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, so we're going to make a slight change. Last night we had 5-minute breaks, and we got some feedback. We felt like we were trying to kind of rush you. So tonight we're going to do 10-minute breaks. That'll give you time to get up, stretch your legs, talk about what you just heard, get a drink, some food, whatever it is. So we're going to take a 10-minute break. I'll ask Teresa Murray and Lincoln McGuire to please make their way up here well before the 10 minutes. We'll get you in position. And if everybody can please be back in their seat and we can be quiet and ready to go, we'll get rolling in 10 minutes. So thank you very much.
This is Peggy Alberts with Alberts Real Estate Advisors. I'm standing in front of the iconic Anheuser-Busch compound. This property sits on 36 acres, 4,000 feet of waterfront, and you can't believe it unless you see it. So guess what? We're gonna have an open house Saturday, the 13th from 10 to 6. We're inviting realtors and investors. So bring your friend and come check it out. We're gonna have four-wheeler, we're gonna have tours, you can check out the houses and the most iconic boat dock sitting in Lake of the Ozarks.
There's nothing more to Lake of the Ozarks than Marty Bird's Gastropub on the Strip. You've seen us on Netflix and A&E. Now it's time to come see for yourself. Forget about money laundering and murder for hire. It's cold drinks and some of the lake's finest cuisine you're after, and you'll find it at Marty Bird's Gastropub, where you come for the name and return for the unforgettable experience. Open at 11, 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. Marty Bird's Gastropub on the historic Bagnell Dam Strip. Proud supporter of 2026 Guns and Hoses.
Your favorite family-friendly waterfront bar and grill is now open 7 days a week. Captain Ron's invites you to come take in our relaxing sand beach and the lake's best live entertainment schedule. Don't miss the updated menu this year and grab a drink outside at our Tiki Bar, the home of the annual Cannonball Run and Aquapalooza, Captain Ron's, the lake's best frozen drinks and lakeside cuisine. Come down to Captain Ron's at the 34.5-mile marker in Sunrise Beach.
The sun is shining, the flowers are blooming, and the popcorn is popping. Fresh every single day at Osage River Popcorn in Lake Ozark. So pop on by and experience our wide variety of popcorn flavors, the homemade gelato, and Stom European chocolates and specialty coffees. Open every single day. Pop on by or come through our drive-thru. Osage River Popcorn in Lake Ozark.
We got a red-hot cup of coffee for you this week. A lot to talk about. A big weekend at the lake. You're going to recap that for us.
Yeah, the Vivi Joe Barbie Poker Run takes center stage. Plus, what's next for the Oasis development following Jeff Hagenhoff's company's bankruptcy?
Yeah, the Outlet Mall gets final approval from the city.
Camden County Prosecutor's Office needs more money.
And the iconic Bush Estate is on the market.
That and a whole lot more on this week's Cup of Coffee from Slumberland at the Lake.
At New Spring Wellness Center, we understand how hectic life can be and the stress that comes with it. We also understand that your health often gets forgotten about. Whether it's addiction, weight loss, or lack of energy, New Spring Wellness Center offers natural services you won't find other places. From our vitamin IV drips to our laser hair removal and everything else. Naturally better health is our focus at New Spring Wellness Center in Osage Beach. Call now to schedule your free consultation.
Hey everybody, it's Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We're starting our 4th of July sale. Summer's going in a blink, but we got some hot deals to help things out. We've got sales for every room in the house. We deliver the entire lake area, and we're doing 0% interest financing for up to 36 months. Come check out all the hot deals right here at Slumberland, where we're bringing happy home.
It's that time, summer at Lake of the Ozarks. The water, the events, so much to see and do, but you still need to focus on the road. Distracted driving crashes have increased over 30% the last 5 years in Missouri.
So whatever part of the lake you're excited to explore, be a part of the solution and buckle up and put your phones down. This reminder to drive safe, boat safe, brought to you by Price & Randall, Injury Attorneys.
During this chapter of life, we are really taking the time to enjoy the little things.
So it was important to have our final wishes pre-planned so our family wouldn't be burdened later on.
Hedges Scott Millard made it simple, but thorough. They provided us with different options right here in the comfort of our home.
We are so glad that we planned ahead. Now a whole lot more of this, a little of this, all with the peace of mind we wanted.
At Hedges Scott Millard, we believe that every day is a gift, and so is every life. Take time to enjoy it.
What's up, Lake of the Ozarks? Wild Will inviting you to tune in for our next Lotto Homes with Peggy Albers.
I'm so glad you made it, Will. We have the Anheuser-Busch corporate compound that's getting reduced $2 million today, so I'm glad that you made it.
Incredible news, and you're about to get a personal, private tour of the Busch family compound on our next Lake TV Lotto Homes.
It's a must-see. This is Peggy Albers with Albers Real Estate Advisors. I'm standing in front of the iconic Anheuser-Busch compound. This property sits on 36 acres, 4,000 feet of waterfront, and you can't believe it unless you see it. So guess what? We're gonna have an open house Saturday, the 13th from 10 to 6. We're inviting realtors and investors. So bring your friend and come check it out. We're gonna have four-wheeler, we're gonna have tours, you can check out the houses and the most iconic boat dock sitting in Lake of the Ozarks.
There's nothing more to Lake of the Ozarks than Marty Bird's Gastropub on the Strip. You've seen us on Netflix and A&E. Now it's time to come see for yourself. Forget about money laundering and murder for hire. It's cold drinks and some of the lake's finest cuisine you're after, and you'll find it at Marty Bird's Gastropub, where you come for the name and return for the unforgettable experience. Open at 11, 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. Marty Bird's Gastropub on the historic Bagnell Dam Strip. Proud supporter of 2026 Guns and Hoses.
Your favorite family-friendly waterfront bar and grill is now open 7 days a week. Captain Ron's invites you to come take in our relaxing sand beach and the lake's best live entertainment schedule. Don't miss the updated menu this year and grab a drink outside at our Tiki Bar, the home of the annual Cannonball Run and Aquapalooza, Captain Ron's, the lake's best frozen drinks and lakeside cuisine. Come down to Captain Ron's at the 34.5-mile marker in Sunrise Beach.
The sun is shining, the flowers are blooming, and the popcorn is popping. Fresh every single day at Osage River Popcorn in Lake Ozark. So pop on by and experience our wide variety of popcorn flavors, the homemade gelato, and Stom European chocolates and specialty coffees. Open every single day. Pop on by or come through our drive-thru. Osage River Popcorn in Lake Ozark.
We got a red hot cup of coffee for you this week. A lot to talk about. A big weekend at the lake. You're going to recap that for us.
Yeah, the Vivi Joe Barbie Poker Run takes center stage. Plus, what's next for the Oasis development following Jeff Hagenhoff's company's bankruptcy?
Yeah, the Outlet Mall gets final approval from the city.
Camden County Prosecutor's Office needs more money.
And the iconic Bush Estate is on the market.
That and a whole lot more on this week's Cup of Coffee from Slumberland at the Lake.
At New Spring Wellness Center, we understand how hectic life can be and the stress that comes with it. We also understand that your health often gets forgotten about. Whether it's addiction, weight loss, or lack of energy, New Spring Wellness Center offers natural services you won't find other places. From our vitamin IV drips to our laser hair removal and everything else. Naturally better health is our focus at New Spring Wellness Center in Osage Beach. Call now to schedule your free consultation.
Hey everybody, it's Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We're starting our 4th of July sale. Summer's going in a blink, but we got some hot deals to help things out. We've got sales for every room in the house. We deliver the entire lake area, and we're doing 0% interest financing for up to 36 months. Come check out all the hot deals right here at Slumberland, where we're bringing happy home.
It's that time, summer at Lake of the Ozarks. The water, the events, so much to see and do, but you still need to focus. Focus on the road. Distracted driving crashes have increased over 30% the last 5 years in Missouri.
So whatever part of the lake you're excited to explore, be a part of the solution and buckle up and put your phones down. This reminder to drive safe, boat safe, brought to you by Price & Randall, Injury Attorneys.
During this chapter of life, we are really taking the time to enjoy the little things.
So it was important to have our final wishes pre-planned so our family wouldn't be burdened later on.
Hedges Scott Millard made it simple, but thorough. They provided us with different options right here in the comfort of our home.
We are so glad that we planned ahead. Now a whole lot more of this, a little of this, all with the peace of mind we wanted.
At Hedges Scott Millard, we believe that every day is a gift, and so is every life. Take time to enjoy it.
What's up, Lake of the Ozarks? Wild Will inviting you to tune in for our next Lotto Homes with Peggy Albers.
I'm so glad you made it, Will. We have the Anheuser-Busch corporate compound that's getting reduced $2 million today, so I'm glad that you made it.
Incredible news, and you're about to get a personal, private tour of the Busch family compound on our next Lake TV Lotto Homes.
It's a must-see.
All right, welcome back. If you are watching online, we are live here at Seven Springs Winery with night 2 of the debates, broadcast exclusively on Lake TV. And we're going to get rolling here. I'm going to read these debate rules, and then we'll do some candidate introductions, and we'll be off and rolling. This debate is structured so that it does not promote or advance any one candidate over another. The use of technology during the debate, such as smartphones, is prohibited. Time limits on statements, answers, rebuttals, and responses will be enforced by the moderator. A display time card indicating 10 seconds remaining will be utilized, which you can see right here in the front. Candidates are permitted to take notes. However, no props or visuals are allowed. The debate is divided into subject areas, for example, budgets, campaign positions, background and experience, etc. All candidates have been provided with the general subject topics to be debated, but not the questions. Moderators will present a question to a candidate. We will allow rebuttal responses from their opponent, as well as a follow-up to the candidate. And I'm going to hand this over to Dave Maupin, and he's going to do the candidate announcements.
The first debate is going to be the county collector debate. The candidates for this position are Teresa Murray and Lincoln McGuire. The debate's going to take 20 minutes, and Lincoln McGuire will start off with a 1-minute opening statement.
I'm left-handed, so I gotta pull it over. My name is Lincoln McGuire. I'm running for collector. I'm sure y'all just heard. Most important thing that I want people to know about me is I'm a Christian. I'm a father. I have 4 kids. Well, actually 5, because we just found out we're having another. And I I'm very concerned about what I see coming out of our courthouse because I have an invested future here in Camden County. I've got kids that need Camden County to be a solid place to live. There's a lot of pressures for people my age to move because this place can be unaffordable for young people right out of high school. And I want to be a part of building our future and making this a place that people want to stay. Because the lake is growing so fast, the Camden County is growing so fast, and I don't see our courthouse keeping up. I see a lot of areas that we need improvement, and I think I'm the person for that. Thank you.
The next opening statement will be from Teresa Murray.
Okay, I'm Teresa Murray. I am the Camden County Collector. I have worked in the office since 1995, and I have been the collector since 2017. And I am a lifelong resident of Camden County, born and raised. I'm part of the Stoners and the Perrigs. My dad was Jerry Lyons. He's from Hickory County. But we have in our office an innovative system. Because I had it, I went to a gentleman and had him do that. Other counties is wanting this system, and he will only take on a few at a time. So we have won awards for it, for the innovative system. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. And we're going to start off with question 1 to Lincoln McGuire. Lincoln, the County Collector's Office is a highly administrative and detailed-oriented office. What experience do you have in managing budgets, financial systems, or tax collection? 90-second response.
So I'm a realtor, and I'm also a subcontractor with the USPS. And if you ever worked for yourself, you know budgets are a big part of your day-to-day operations. And like you said, it's very administrative. And with that comes, there's a lot of systems that are set in place by the state and the commission that need to be followed. Where I think we need a collector that's going to make a difference is when we're making decisions on other things that you vote on and maximizing the systems that we do have. Thank you.
Thank you. And Teresa Murray, a 30-second rebuttal. If you want it.
Yeah, he said something there, and I kind of lost it in what else he was speaking about.
Pull that mic in, would you?
Yes, we do have an innovative system. That is what, and we have to follow statutes. It's not like that we just pull things out of, the air. We have to follow state statutes. Now, there is some gray areas, but, it is what it is.
All right, thank you. And Lincoln McGuire, 30-second follow-up if you want it.
We do we do have an innovative system, supposedly. Yet somehow we're still 5.8 million delinquent in taxes. And we're lacking in a lot of, I think we just need somebody to get in there and learn the system and learn how to maximize it. Because when you look at the operations, when you talk about delinquency and taxes and you talk about, sorry, I got 10 seconds, but I think we need someone to go in there and look at that system, learn how we can maximize that system, basically.
Teresa, you've had years in office to modernize the collector's office. What specific measurable improvements have taxpayers actually seen under your leadership? And what problems still remain unresolved? You have 90 seconds.
Well, like I have said, that we do have a new system that was put in place in 2018. And he built it from the ground up. And then we also put the tax sale online. And like I said, we've won 2 awards with MAC with those 2 systems.
Lincoln, you have 30 seconds rebuttal.
thing I want to respond to on that is we did put the tax sale online. I want to take the tax sale offline. I don't think that that's an aspect that I would like to see people show up and do their bids in person. I don't believe that, I think we open ourselves up to too much corruption when we do our business online in regards to the tax collection, not the other stuff.
Teresa, you have 30 seconds to follow up.
Okay, it is not online per se. It is just on the screen. It is not online. People cannot cannot bid online. And we have not done that. It's illegal actually in the state of Missouri to do that.
Thank you, Teresa. And question number 3 is to Lincoln McGuire. Lincoln, what technology, security, or modern initiatives would you implement that are not already in place? 90-second response, please.
So we pay people really well to do our cybersecurity and also to manage the websites. I don't know if anybody here has tried to go on the website and, find any sort of information, but I think that the collector needs to be in fact, demanding that the people that I think it's $150,000 we pay somebody to manage our websites, that those are accessible. I would like, I'm younger, so I would like to see an app that's mobile friendly that you can go on, you can find all the information about the collector's office, and I think that we could also use that as a way to interact with the public because the collector's office doesn't have a lot of interaction with the public.
Thank you, Lincoln. And Teresa, 30-second rebuttal.
It is app friendly. The guy that we had designed the system, that is his forte, is online systems, and does have a mobile app. Well, it is mobile friendly, and we made sure that because in the beginning it was not, but it is and has been for years.
Thank you. And Lincoln, would you like a follow-up? 30 seconds.
I like to think, my generation knows cell phones pretty well. It's not very mobile friendly for me. And I think that that's something, a lot of people don't have computers anymore. Maybe you have a laptop. Most people are doing their business on the cell phone. And so I think that is a way that we could move into the future for Camden County.
All right, thanks, Lincoln. Teresa, critics of incumbents often argue that elected officials become complacent over time. Why should voters believe your office is operating as efficiently as possible and not simply relying on the way it's always been done?
When I got into office, we did update the system. We have also brought the mailing system in-house, which has saved the county a lot of money. And so we pre-sort and we mail. We print off the statements and we print, stuff and have a folder inserter stuffer. And so that is not complacent. I have, there's 3 things: the tax sale, the new system, and bringing the mailing system in-house.
Lincoln, you have a 30-second rebuttal.
Brings up a good subject with the mailing system is we do the mailing system in-house, and that's rife with corruption itself. It started off with undercutting a local company to go with a company out of St. Louis. That's actually something I would like to change. I would like to see that be a local company. If the companies were Alpha Graphics was the one that got cut locally. If anybody's curious, you can look that up.
Teresa, you have 30 seconds.
Okay, the rebuttal to that is Alpha Graphics. We did use them, and we did use their paper and their envelopes. And when we bought the new inserter stuffer, we tried to, and first of all, the very first year, we did come in county and use Alpha Graphics even to mail them. And we got 8 trays back in the first day. They did not do it correctly. And so therefore, we had to send out all those by first class back again. And the envelope, okay, tell me time.
All right. Yeah, that time can sneak up on you. All right. Excuse me. Question number 5 is to Lincoln McGuire. Lincoln, in your candidate announcement, you stated, quote, "I am deeply bothered by some of the actions of our current collector," end quote. What actions specifically are you bothered by, and what changes will you make if elected? 90-second response.
I'm glad you asked that question. I didn't really know if I wanted to get into this tonight. Our collector saw it fit to cut down 2 security cameras in the office that not only cover the vault, but cover the vault. And I'm not going to sit up here and call her a thief. I'm not going to sit up here and say that she's corrupt. I'm just going to say when you've been in the office too long, you feel at liberty to mess with systems that you don't have the liberty to mess with. Those are tax paid. I don't care if it costs $5 or $500 for those cameras. That's taxpayer funds. And we're already taking people's money. We don't need to be destroying it. And it's just not a good look. Whenever you cut things down, that's just, yeah, that's all I have to say on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, no interruptions. I know everybody's passionate, but please, let's keep it together. Let's have some decorum if we can. And Teresa, 30-second response.
I did not take down the cameras. I had maintenance take down the cameras. And they were in the back. They were, and there is actually 2 cameras on the vault. There never was never a camera not on the vault. They, in the back, you know, that's where you eat. But there was comments about the girls, what they were wearing, because where the monitors were at, there was the clothes they were wearing, the shoes they had on, what they had for lunch, just different things.
Thank you, Teresa. And Lincoln McGuire, 30-second follow-up.
I am very sympathetic to the thought that there was maintenance men, I think you said, that were looking at the women in the office. That being said, this is a professional setting. These are taxpayer funds. This isn't a game. There is a chain of command that needs to go through. Quite frankly, if my wife worked in that office and men were watching her through the camera, they're going to lose their job. The camera's not coming down. And there are cameras in that office, but they're not managed by a third-party system. It is within the office that those cameras are. Again, not calling you a thief. I don't want it to come across like that. I'm just saying we need that transparency. Transparency is an all-time problem here in Camden County.
Teresa, property tax delinquency creates a financial burden on the county, schools, fire districts, ambulance districts, and others. Have delinquent tax collections improved during your tenure, and can you point to hard data showing success?
Well, I can't give you numbers right now, but there has been 4 sales that have been bought over the past several years, but I can't make people pay taxes. I mean, I can't go out to their door and knock on their door and make them pay taxes. If, you know, what they come in and pay, we do disperse.
Lincoln, you have 30 seconds for rebuttal.
You can't make anyone pay their taxes, but the state has a system set up for when people don't pay their taxes. And that's not being followed through. Google Joe McDevitt and Camden County Collector's Office. That guy's trying to do great things for Camden County. He wants to clean up a lot of these properties that won't ever be bought off the tax sale, along with the properties that have been delinquent for so long. Check out his plan. He's got a great plan. I would want to work with him. And I would say that yeah, that's all I have to say on that. Thank you.
And Teresa, you have 30 seconds.
Okay. You have to treat everyone the same. He's not a special person, not any more than anybody else out here in this audience. And there has been interest in these lots, and they come in and we had a protocol to follow. And he wants to buy more of them, but like I said, he's wanting to buy them for a certain amount, and we've never offered that before, and we can't, sell them to him if we're not willing to offer that to someone else like that.
Each candidate will now get a closing statement. Teresa, you have 1 minute for your closing statement.
I have been in the office since '95. I have been the collector since 2018. I have been through a state audit. I have been through a forensic audit because I was accused of stealing money. The commission accused me of doing that. I did not. We went through the forensic audit. I knew I did not. And I just relied on God, and I am a Christian. I'm saved, and I know where I'm going. So I appreciate your vote on August the 4th. Thank you so much.
Now, Lincoln, you also have a 1 minute closing statement.
I'd like to talk a little bit about all we need to clean up our delinquent taxes is what's called a partial legal description. That's going to solve a lot of our problems. You guys should go look at the commission meeting from today. Fast forward to the part where Joe McDevitt came to talk. On top of that, guys, I really care about Camden County. It's been home my whole life. The only time I left was when I went to college. I want to see Camden County thrive, whether that's under me or her. I really hope Camden County is just always operating at the maximum. I believe I can bring that to Camden County, and I believe I can bring us up to date on, we're rapidly growing. And I know we talked a lot about systems, but I think those are things that need to be looked at, maximized, and I think I'm the guy that you guys need to do that. Thank you.
This concludes the collectors debate. We're now going to take a 10-minute break, which will be followed by the county clerk debate.
This is Peggy Alberts with Alberts Real Estate Advisors. I'm standing in front of the iconic Anheuser-Busch compound. This property sits on 36 acres, 4,000 feet of waterfront, and you can't believe it unless you see it. So guess what? We're going to have an open house Saturday, the 13th from 10 to 6. We're inviting realtors and investors. So bring your friend and come check it out. We're going to have four-wheeler, we're going to have tours. You can check out the houses and the most iconic boat dock sitting in Lake of the Ozarks.
There's nothing more to Lake of the Ozarks than Marty Bird's Gastropub on the Strip. You've seen us on Netflix and A&E. Now it's time to come see for yourself. Forget about money laundering and murder for hire. It's cold drinks and some of the lake's finest cuisine you're after, and you'll find it at Marty Bird's Gastropub, where you come for the name and return for the unforgettable experience. Open at 11, 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. Marty Bird's Gastropub on the historic Bagnell Dam Strip. Proud supporter of 2026 Guns and Hoses.
Your favorite family-friendly waterfront bar and grill is now open 7 days a week. Captain Ron's invites you to come take in our relaxing sand beach and the lake's best live entertainment schedule. Don't miss the updated menu this year and grab a drink outside at our Tiki Bar, the home of the annual Cannonball Run and Aquapalooza, Captain Ron's, the lake's best frozen drinks and lakeside cuisine. Come down to Captain Ron's at the 34.5-mile marker in Sunrise Beach.
The sun is shining, the flowers are blooming, and the popcorn is popping. Fresh every single day at Osage River Popcorn in Lake Ozark. So pop on by and experience our wide variety of popcorn flavors, the homemade gelato, and Stom European chocolates and specialty coffees. Open every single day. Pop on by or come through our drive-thru. Osage River Popcorn in Lake Ozark.
We got a red-hot cup of coffee for you this week. A lot to talk about. A big weekend at the lake. You're going to recap that for us.
Yeah, the Vivi Joe Barbie Poker Run takes center stage. Plus, what's next for the Oasis development following Jeff Hagenhoff's company's bankruptcy?
Yeah, the Outlet Mall gets final approval from the city.
Camden County Prosecutor's Office needs more money.
And the iconic Bush Estate is on the market.
That and a whole lot more on this week's Cup of Coffee from Slumberland at the Lake.
At New Spring Wellness Center, we understand how hectic life can be and the stress that comes with it. We also understand that your health often gets forgotten about. Whether it's addiction, weight loss, or lack of energy, New Spring Wellness Center offers natural services you won't find other places. From our vitamin IV drips to our laser hair removal and everything else. Naturally better health is our focus at New Spring Wellness Center in Osage Beach. Call now to schedule your free consultation.
Hey everybody, it's Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We're starting our 4th of July sale. Summer's going in a blink, but we got some hot deals to help things out. We've got sales for every room in the house. We deliver the entire lake area, and we're doing 0% interest financing for up to 36 months. Come check out all the hot deals right here at Slumberland, where we're bringing happy home.
It's that time, summer at Lake of the Ozarks. The water, the events, so much to see and do, but you still need to focus. Focus on the road. Distracted driving crashes have increased over 30% the last 5 years in Missouri.
So whatever part of the lake you're excited to explore, be a part of the solution and buckle up and put your phones down. This reminder to drive safe, boat safe, brought to you by Price & Randall, Injury Attorneys.
During this chapter of life, we are really taking the time to enjoy the little things.
So it was important to have our final wishes pre-planned so our family wouldn't be burdened later on.
Hedges Scott Millard made it simple, but thorough. They provided us with different options right here in the comfort of our home.
We are so glad that we planned ahead. Now a whole lot more of this, a little of this, all with the peace of mind we wanted.
At Hedges Scott Millard, we believe that every day is a gift, and so is every life. Take time to enjoy it.
What's up, Lake of the Ozarks? Wild Will inviting you to tune in for our next Lotto Homes with Peggy Albers.
I'm so glad you made it, Will. We have the Anheuser-Busch corporate compound that's getting reduced $2 million today, so I'm glad that you made it.
Incredible news, and you're about to get a personal, private tour of the Busch family compound on our next Lake TV Lotto Homes.
It's a must-see. This is Peggy Albers with Albers Real Estate Advisors. I'm standing in front of the iconic Anheuser-Busch compound. This property sits on 36 acres, 4,000 feet of waterfront, and you can't believe it unless you see it. So guess what? We're gonna have an open house Saturday, the 13th from 10 to 6. We're inviting realtors and investors. So bring your friend and come check it out. We're gonna have four-wheeler, we're gonna have tours, you can check out the houses and the most iconic boat docks sitting in Lake of the Ozarks.
There's nothing more Lake of the Ozarks than Marty Bird's Gastropub on the Strip. You've seen us on Netflix and A&E. Now it's time to come see for yourself. Forget about money laundering and murder for hire. It's cold drinks and some of the lake's finest cuisine you're after, and you'll find it at Marty Bird's Gastropub, where you come for the name and return for the unforgettable experience. Open at 11, 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. Marty Bird's Gastropub on the historic Bagnell Dam Strip. Proud supporter of 2026 Guns and Hoses.
Your favorite family-friendly waterfront bar and grill is now open 7 days a week. Captain Ron's invites you to come take in our relaxing sand beach and the lake's best live entertainment schedule. Don't miss the updated menu this year and grab a drink outside at our Tiki Bar, the home of the annual Cannonball Run and Aquapalooza, Captain Ron's, the lake's best frozen drinks and lakeside cuisine. Come down to Captain Ron's at the 34.5-mile marker in Sunrise Beach.
The sun is shining, the flowers are blooming, and the popcorn is popping. Fresh every single day at Osage River Popcorn in Lake Ozark. So pop on by and experience our wide variety of popcorn flavors, the homemade gelato, and Stom European chocolates and specialty coffees. Open every single day. Pop on by or come through our drive-thru. Osage River Popcorn in Lake Ozark.
We got a red hot cup of coffee for you this week. A lot to talk about. A big weekend at the lake. You're going to recap that for us.
Yeah, the Vivi Joe Barbie Poker Run takes center stage. Plus, what's next for the Oasis development following Jeff Hagenhoff's company's bankruptcy?
Yeah, the Outlet Mall gets final approval from the city.
Camden County Prosecutor's Office needs more money.
And the iconic Bush Estate is on the market.
That and a whole lot more on this week's Cup of Coffee from Slumberland at the Lake.
At New Spring Wellness Center, we understand how hectic life can be and the stress that comes with it. We also understand that your health often gets forgotten about. Whether it's addiction, weight loss, or lack of energy, New Spring Wellness Center offers natural services you won't find other places. From our vitamin IV drips to our laser hair removal and everything else. Naturally better health is our focus at New Spring Wellness Center in Osage Beach. Call now to schedule your free consultation.
Hey everybody, it's Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We're starting our 4th of July sale. Summer's going in a blink, but we got some hot deals to help things out. We've got sales for every room in the house. We deliver the entire lake area, and we're doing 0% interest financing for up to 36 months. Come check out all the hot deals right here at Slumberland, where we're bringing happy home.
It's that time, summer at Lake of the Ozarks. The water, the events, so much to see and do, but you still need to focus. Focus on the road. Distracted driving crashes have increased over 30% the last 5 years in Missouri.
So whatever part of the lake you're excited to explore, be a part of the solution and buckle up and put your phones down. This reminder to drive safe, boat safe, brought to you by Price & Randall, Injury Attorneys.
During this chapter of life, we are really taking the time to enjoy the little things.
So it was important to have our final wishes pre-planned so our family wouldn't be burdened later on.
Hedges Scott Millard made it simple, but thorough. They provided us with different options right here in the comfort of our home.
We are so glad that we planned ahead. Now a whole lot more of this, a little of this, all with the peace of mind we wanted.
At Hedges Scott Millard, we believe that every day is a gift, and so is every life. Take time to enjoy it.
What's up, Lake of the Ozarks? Wild Will inviting you to tune in for our next Lotto Homes with Peggy Albers.
I'm so glad you made it, Will. We have the Anheuser-Busch corporate compound that's getting reduced $2 million today, so I'm glad that you made it.
Incredible news, and you're about to get a personal, private tour of the Busch family compound on our next Lake TV Lotto Homes.
It's a must-see.
All right, and welcome back. If you are watching online exclusively on Lake TV, we are live here at Seven Springs Winery with night 2 of the debates. And we've got the county clerk debate coming up, so I think that's going to be fantastic. We thank you for tuning in and watching. We thank everybody who has attended tonight and last night. We really appreciate that. Do you need the rules read again, or did you have it from the first one? You're good on that? Okay, all right. We're going to announce the candidates now. We have Kit Rupe. I believe that's how you pronounce it, right? Yeah, okay. And she is challenging Roland Todd. And we're going to get rolling on this here. So we'll get started with our opening statements, and we'll start with Roland Todd. You have a 1-minute opening statement.
First, I'd like to welcome everybody here and thank everybody for putting this on that's involved in it. My name is Roland Todd. I have had the honor of serving you all for almost 24 years as your county clerk. I've enjoyed it. I want to continue because, like I said, I really have enjoyed it. I've been married to my wife for 44 years, which, if you know, that's a long time. But and my 2 daughters are here. You know, which I'm proud of them. My son-in-laws are babysitting. I got 5 grandkids, 4 boys and 1 girl. The girl is the boss. She's going into 2nd grade. My oldest one is going in 7th grade. So there's kind of they're going to be in Camden County a long time. And that's why it's so important for me to continue too, because I love this county. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better county. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Roland. And Kit, 1-minute opening statement.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm excited, actually. My name's Kit Rupe. I'm running for Camden County Clerk. You know, Camden County has been home for my family for many years. In fact,
I'm sorry, I get choked up. My daughter's here. I'm really proud of her. And she has a long history here in the county. I want to say, too, my son-in-law and my grandchildren are deeply rooted here in the county. And I made the decision to move here permanently, and I'm proud to call myself now a Camden County home, okay? So my career has been built on public service. I served in the U.S. Army and worked as a civil servant and community planner. I served in a state legislature, and I have more than 20 years of experience working with elections. I have also spent years helping individuals and families as an insurance professional, always focused on service and solving problems. I believe the county clerk's office should be efficient, accessible, transparent, really? and responsive to services. I hope you'll agree, but at the end of the meeting and my experience, elections and administration, customer service has prepared me to provide professional leadership.
That's going to be time.
Thank you.
Roland, across the country, public confidence in elections has declined. What specific measures have you implemented or will you implement to restore voter trust? And what evidence is there that those measures actually work? You have 90 seconds.
Well, you know, I will agree, across the country there is some fraud, and, you know, it's very questionable. But, you know, Missouri was never a targeted state to have, you know, when, I don't want to use the word Trump, when he lost, this is where this all started. But Missouri was never a targeted state. So to me, to stand up here and say that there's fraud, I don't know of any. I mean, especially in Camden County. I will stand firm that there's no fraud in Camden County. I mean, we take every caution we can. I've got a lot of election judges sitting out here, and they will tell you the same thing. They know what we have to do to make sure our elections are secure. You know, and we have to go by statute 115. I mean, that's the key right there. That's what tells us what to do. And there's other statutes that we have to put up with too, of the counting part, which is another question later. So please, there's no fraud in Camden County. Thank you.
Kit, you have 30 seconds.
I disagree with our fine clerk. I think that there are some issues that involve Camden County. To be, first of all, saying that there aren't questions of trust in the elections is to deny the fact that there are some people who have experienced some problems with the election process. I'm going to hopefully disclose some of that information as we go along with the debate this evening, and thank you.
Roland, you have 30 seconds to respond.
You know, you're going to find out how I really am. I'm going to tell you, I don't sugarcoat nothing. Yes, there is a certain group. For the past 12 years, I have not done anything right. And probably for the next 4 years, I won't do anything right. But, you know, go out and talk to the actual ones that are interested in the election process. Once again, show me proof, please, and I hope she does come up with some things. Thank you.
Thank you, Roland. And question number 2 is to Kit. Kit, do you support live streaming ballot counting and expanded public observation of election operations? If no, why? 90 seconds.
Thank you so much. So, kind of a new tact on this is the live streaming aspect, but I don't see a problem with that, and the reason is because of transparency. I think as election people, we have to be able to understand there's a scrutiny and a question about the integrity of how we do the elections. Should I be your clerk, I intend to not only have the election judges, but during that process, I also want to invite the contestants to have representatives involved in the room observing the election process. And then the clerk people are certainly there to answer any questions and make sure that we adhere to what the law states for us to have. So I think it's really important, and I also think that if there's contests that have to do with the election, people need to see that almost instantly when there's a question. Yes, we do machines, and I think that would be a great way to start out with an unofficial response. But occasionally we have people who want to contest an election, and I would say, yes, we have to follow the law under those terms, but I would say we follow the process of the law, and then we examine the outcomes of those election results and put them to the scrutiny. I don't want to defer to a machine, and I don't want to defer to any one individual to say that this is the final tally. So thank you.
Thank you, Kit. And Roland Todd, you have a 30-second rebuttal. Live streaming of ballot counting and public observation.
First of all, you're going to have to change the laws. You know, right now, when it comes to counting the ballots, you have to go under what they call CSR, which is a 49-page rules that you have to follow. And I'm sorry, but hand counting, you're only allowed, our county is only allowed to count one absentee, or count, oh my God, I'm so confused. We only get to count one hand count and one by the machine, by law. Thank you.
Thank you, Roland. And Kit, 30-second follow-up.
Thank you so much. Yes, the law says that we will use the machines, and there was an effort to change that this year, and it didn't go through. I would propose that we would possibly look and work with our legislative body to adjust those rules, but certainly not before then. He's right. There are a lot of rules that have a process that go along with counting ballots. But I think for transparency's sake, we should absolutely allow that opportunity for people to restore the trust in the election process.
All right, thank you, Kit. The next question is for Roland. Should the clerk's office become more aggressive with purging inactive voter rolls, or does that risk disenfranchising legitimate voters? You have 90 seconds.
Okay, the thing about voter rolls, this is something that comes up all the time. You know, you see Facebook trashing us about our voter rolls. I've got a staff who last year, she actually touched over 30,000 voter cards and matched them up with the MCVR, which is a state system. She also went into the Department of Revenue to get their driver's license. And then we actually got a phone call from the Secretary of State group praising how we were able to clean up the way we did so quick. And I had another county call me and asked, how many employees do you have? We're cut down to 4 employees now. We had more at one time. And they said, well, you know, we got more than that, and we still won't have time to do it. So, you know, voter rolls are clean, they're accurate. You're welcome to come, you know, check them out. And you know, to take that job on yourself and see if you can find a default. Thank you.
Kit, you have a 30-second rebuttal.
I disagree. I've already gone through 3 precincts, and I have to say I have found people who are on the voter roll on the list that was provided by the clerk's office who no longer live at those residences, and they have new people there. I've come across, even in myself, when I moved here, I could vote in 2 states, 2 jurisdictions. These are just 2 examples. I'm glad to share the information with you after the debate. Thank you.
Roland? That's 30 seconds to respond.
First off, Colorado's not tied into our system. So yes, that would probably be possible to do that, because a lot of states are not tied into the same system that Missouri is. Now you go to Kansas, they are. You go to Iowa, they are. The rest of them aren't. So, I mean, I'm sorry that you think that there's distrust in our office. And it's going to be amazing to, for this campaign to go on. Thank you.
Thank you, Roland. And question number 4 is to Kit Rupe. Kit, in your candidate announcement, you state, quote, Camden County is a first-class county that deserves first-class service from the clerk's office, end quote. You wrote that the current website interface makes it difficult for citizens to make changes or corrections. Is it your belief that the citizens are not currently receiving first-class county service? And what specific changes will you make to improve those services? 90-second response.
God, it's 90 seconds. I do think that we could do a better job in serving our county in at least the website. You can go to any other first-class county and see a much better, more revealing website to find the information that you need. I think you could put on there links with the website to the Secretary of State so people can see what are the differences in what licensing that they can be able to obtain that are not made available on here. I had one person when I was walking door to door say that it was like a scavenger hunt to be able to find the information he needed on the websites. So ladies and gentlemen, it's not as obvious as people would have you think. And looking at Camden County's website is kind of like looking at something from 2005 versus something that is in 2026. And I just looked at the sheriff's website versus the Camden County Clerk's website. We need to listen to people, we need to be able to provide the information they need, and we need to be asking people what are their expectations of the county clerk and how can we serve you better. Customer service is paramount for this office.
Thank you, Kit. And Roland, you have a 30-second rebuttal.
Once again, I can't wait for the proof to come out. I mean, that she keeps saying that she has. I don't see what's wrong with our website. We're putting on what we're allowed to put on. We can't put any more than that on there. And the thing is, our website, we don't have the money to, like the sheriff's department, they spend quite a bit to do their website. I've got a staff that does ours. So, I mean, we put on what we can. Thank you.
Thank you, Roland. And Kit, 30-second follow-up.
So I did make a visit to the clerk's office and was talking about the website. Honestly, the gals tried to do everything to be able to post the information on there, but when I asked about upgrading the website, they said we have to work with the IT department. Honestly, I think if you're going to do the job that you're supposed to be doing, you should be able to serve the customers here in the community. And there are evidence in the budget that make me think we do have the resources to make this happen.
Thank you, Kit. Roland, county government increasingly relies on text messages, personal phones, and private email accounts. Should those communications be preserved on public records as public records when government business is being discussed? If yes, how would you try to implement this reform? 90 seconds. Okay, no problem. I'll say it again. County government increasingly relies on text messages, personal phones, and private email accounts. Should those communications be preserved as public records when government business is being discussed? If yes, how would you try to implement this reform? You have 90 seconds.
Well, right now, we get a lot of sunshine requests comes to my office. Now, for cell phones, it's very hard to get a request from the phone company because you've got to go through loops to do that. Years ago, that happened with a commissioner. He have a sunshine request. The rest of it, I don't have a problem with, using the other the things. But the cell phone will be the toughest one to even implement to get records from. Thank you.
Thank you, Roland. Kit, you have a 30-second rebuttal.
Yes, I think we could preserve that information. Certainly the Secretary of State has information on how to preserve those records. This is, again, where we have to start talking to our IT people and our technology people to be able to do this interface. And when the rest of the world is moving forward, we have to help move Camden County forward and be able to answer these questions. Thank you.
Roland, you have a 30-second follow-up.
Yes, we do have an IT department downstairs, but they are very limited of what they can do on the election side because we don't own the election process. That's owned by the Secretary of State. And there are, once again, rules that will not allow us to do certain things. And I sit here and I think, okay, what are you saying that we're doing wrong? I mean, we're following the law. Until the law gets changed, we're going to continue doing what we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Roland. And question number 6 to Kit. Should citizens have online access to more county records without having to file formal sunshine requests? If so, which records specifically? 90 seconds.
Many of the records are, and how you safeguard them and how you store them and record them is dictated in state statute. And also there is a disposition of records and records that should be done by the Records Retention Board. That said, I think that there are some things that definitely could be put out there to the public. What exactly, I'm not precisely sure, but I would say we should take a real solid look at that. And then there are some things we should absolutely protect. We should be protecting people's identity information that would put them at risk for fraud or identity theft. So we need to be particular, and there should be a process, and I would be glad to work with our legislative body to be able to do some leadership movement here with the legislature to look at the outdatedness of some of our laws that are certainly inhibiting us. But then I also say, look at what's going on in Cole County. They're doing exactly the same things that we're supposed to be doing. They're a first-class county just like we are, and yet they are able to handle a lot more of this information than we are here in Camden County. Thank you.
Thank you. And Roland Todd, 30-second rebuttal.
I do not want to get rid of the sunshine request. That's just to protect the records, that's to protect the people. When we get a sunshine request, first thing I do is I send it up to our county attorney, and then I'll send it to other offices that it pertains to. Now, if we get a sunshine request on voters, we send that to the Secretary of State's office to get approval to even release the records. We cannot just give up information without getting the authority to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Roland. And Kit, 30-second follow-up.
Exactly right. You just can't give it all up, and there are rules that go on with this, and I wouldn't deny that fact. But the sunshine rules have been sometimes ignored by the office. I think you record when they come in and you follow up. The law says you have 3 days with the sunshine request, and then if there's any more time that's involved, you have to inform the person. These are just what's already prescribed in the law when it comes to sunshine requests.
Thank you. That concludes the questions. We're going to move into our closing statements, and we'll start with Kit. You have a 1-minute closing statement.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here, and everybody either on the TV or on Facebook or any other places. Camden County is a first-class county, and our clerk's office should provide first-class service to each and every citizen. To remain a first class, we must be willing to improve, modernize, and look for better ways to serve the public. Businesses do this every day, and so should our local government. As I've traveled throughout Camden County meeting with voters, I've listened to your concerns, ideas, and expectations. If elected, that conversation will not end on Election Day. I believe the clerk's office should be accessible, transparent, and focused on customer service. With a background in public service, government administration, elections, and more than 20 years of election-related experience, I bring a fresh perspective in the skills needed to improve efficiency and strengthen transparency, and make every tax dollar count. I'd be honored to serve as your Camden County clerk and work every day to provide first-class service that you deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Kit. And Roland, a 1-minute closing statement, please.
You know, this is my 7th time running. And what I've come to realize is it's always easier when you're not the incumbent to say what you're going to do. It's different when you get into the office and you find out all the restrictions that you do have. Like I said, it's so easy to sit here and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. Wait till you get in there and see what happens. And that's like all the candidates that's filed, you know, and if they do win, you're going to find out it's not what you think it's going to be. Like I said, I've served you all for 24 years, going on 24. I want to continue. And my office is always open. You know how many people that we have come in? Very few. Very few come in and question our elections. But yet when you listen to certain people, wow, it's like thousands of them. It's not true. I'm here to tell you your elections are safe. We run a clean office. Thank you.
Thank you, Roland. Yeah, it's good. Give them a hand. They deserve it. All right, we are going to move into a 10-minute break, and then we will we'll have the prosecutors, so don't go anywhere. That's going to be a really good one, and we'll see you in 10 minutes.
This is Peggy Alberts with Alberts Real Estate Advisors. I'm standing in front of the iconic Anheuser-Busch compound. This property sits on 36 acres, 4,000 feet of waterfront, and you can't believe it unless you see it. So guess what? We're going to have an open house Saturday, the 13th from 10 to 6. We're inviting realtors and investors. So bring your friend and come check it out. We're going to have four-wheeler, we're going to have tours. You can check out the houses and the most iconic boat docks sitting in Lake of the Ozarks.
There's nothing more to Lake of the Ozarks than Marty Bird's Gastropub on the Strip. You've seen us on Netflix and A&E. Now it's time to come see for yourself. Forget about money laundering and murder for hire. It's cold drinks and some of the lake's finest cuisine you're after, and you'll find it at Marty Bird's Gastropub, where you come for the name and return for the unforgettable experience. Open at 11, 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. Marty Bird's Gastropub on the historic Bagnell Dam Strip. Proud supporter of 2026 Guns and Hoses.
Your favorite family-friendly waterfront bar and grill is now open 7 days a week. Captain Ron's invites you to come take in our relaxing sand beach and the lake's best live entertainment schedule. Don't miss the updated menu this year and grab a drink outside at our Tiki Bar, the home of the annual Cannonball Run and Aquapalooza, Captain Ron's, the lake's best frozen drinks and lakeside cuisine. Come down to Captain Ron's at the 34.5-mile marker in Sunrise Beach.
The sun is shining, the flowers are blooming, and the popcorn is popping. Fresh every single day at Osage River Popcorn in Lake Ozark. So pop on by and experience our wide variety of popcorn flavors, the homemade gelato, and Stom European chocolates and specialty coffees. Open every single day. Pop on by or come through our drive-thru. Osage River Popcorn in Lake Ozark.
We got a red-hot cup of coffee for you this week. A lot to talk about. A big weekend at the lake. You're going to recap that for us.
Yeah, the Vivi Joe Barbie Poker Run takes center stage. Plus, what's next for the Oasis development following Jeff Hagenhoff's company's bankruptcy?
Yeah, the Outlet Mall gets final approval from the city.
Camden County Prosecutor's Office needs more money.
And the iconic Bush Estate is on the market.
That and a whole lot more on this week's Cup of Coffee from Slumberland at the Lake.
At New Spring Wellness Center, we understand how hectic life can be and the stress that comes with it. We also understand that your health often gets forgotten about. Whether it's addiction, weight loss, or lack of energy, New Spring Wellness Center offers natural services you won't find other places. From our vitamin IV drips to our laser hair removal and everything else. Naturally better health is our focus at New Spring Wellness Center in Osage Beach. Call now to schedule your free consultation.
Hey everybody, it's Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We're starting our 4th of July sale. Summer's going in a blink, but we got some hot deals to help things out. We've got sales for every room in the house. We deliver the entire lake area, and we're doing 0% interest financing for up to 36 months. Come check out all the hot deals right here at Slumberland, where we're bringing happy home.
It's that time, summer at Lake of the Ozarks. The water, the events, so much to see and do, but you still need to focus. Focus on the road. Distracted driving crashes have increased over 30% the last 5 years in Missouri.
So whatever part of the lake you're excited to explore, be a part of the solution and buckle up and put your phones down. This reminder to drive safe, boat safe, brought to you by Price & Randall, Injury Attorneys.
During this chapter of life, we are really taking the time to enjoy the little things.
So it was important to have our final wishes pre-planned so our family wouldn't be burdened later on.
Hedges Scott Millard made it simple, but thorough. They provided us with different options right here in the comfort of our home.
We are so glad that we planned ahead. Now a whole lot more of this, a little of this, all with the peace of mind we wanted.
At Hedges Scott Millard, we believe that every day is a gift, and so is every life. Take time to enjoy it.
What's up, Lake of the Ozarks? Wild Will inviting you to tune in for our next Lotto Homes with Peggy Albers.
I'm so glad you made it, Will. We have the Anheuser-Busch corporate compound that's getting reduced $2 million today, so I'm glad that you made it.
Incredible news, and you're about to get a personal, private tour of the Busch family compound on our next Lake TV Lotto Homes.
It's a must-see. This is Peggy Albers with Albers Real Estate Advisors. I'm standing in front of the iconic Anheuser-Busch compound. This property sits on 36 acres, 4,000 feet of waterfront, and you can't believe it unless you see it. So guess what? We're gonna have an open house Saturday, the 13th from 10 to 6. We're inviting realtors and investors. So bring your friend and come check it out. We're gonna have four-wheeler, we're gonna have tours, you can check out the houses and the most iconic boat docks sitting in Lake of the Ozarks.
There's nothing more to Lake of the Ozarks than Marty Bird's Gastropub on the Strip. You've seen us on Netflix and A&E. Now it's time to come see for yourself. Forget about money laundering and murder for hire. It's cold drinks and some of the lake's finest cuisine you're after, and you'll find it at Marty Bird's Gastropub, where you come for the name and return for the unforgettable experience. Open at 11, 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. Marty Bird's Gastropub on the historic Bagnell Dam Strip. Proud supporter of 2026 Guns and Hoses.
Your favorite family-friendly waterfront bar and grill is now open 7 days a week. Captain Ron's invites you to come take in our relaxing sand beach and the lake's best live entertainment schedule. Don't miss the updated menu this year and grab a drink outside at our Tiki Bar, the home of the annual Cannonball Run and Aquapalooza, Captain Ron's, the lake's best frozen drinks and lakeside cuisine. Come down to Captain Ron's at the 34.5-mile marker in Sunrise Beach.
The sun is shining, the flowers are blooming, and the popcorn is popping. Fresh every single day at Osage River Popcorn in Lake Ozark. So pop on by and experience our wide variety of popcorn flavors, the homemade gelato, and Stom European chocolates and specialty coffees. Open every single day. Pop on by or come through our drive-thru. Osage River Popcorn in Lake Ozark.
We got a red-hot cup of coffee for you this week. A lot to talk about. A big weekend at the lake. You're going to recap that for us.
Yeah, the Vivi Joe Barbie Poker Run takes center stage. Plus, what's next for the Oasis development following Jeff Hagenhoff's company's bankruptcy?
Yeah, the Outlet Mall gets final approval from the city.
Camden County Prosecutor's Office needs more money.
And the iconic Busch Estate is on the market.
That and a whole lot more on this week's Cup of Coffee from Slumberland at the Lake.
At New Spring Wellness Center, we understand how hectic life can be and the stress that comes with it. We also understand that your health often gets forgotten about. Whether it's addiction, weight loss, or lack of energy, New Spring Wellness Center offers natural services you won't find other places. From our vitamin IV drips to our laser hair removal and everything else. Naturally better health is our focus at New Spring Wellness Center in Osage Beach. Call now to schedule your free consultation.
Hey everybody, it's Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We're starting our 4th of July sale. Summer's going in a blink, but we got some hot deals to help things out. We've got sales for every room in the house. We deliver the entire lake area, and we're doing 0% interest financing for up to 36 months. Come check out all the hot deals right here at Slumberland, where we're bringing happy home.
It's that time, summer at Lake of the Ozarks. The water, the events, so much to see and do, but you still need to focus. Focus on the road. Distracted driving crashes have increased over 30% the last 5 years in Missouri.
So whatever part of the lake you're excited to explore, be a part of the solution and buckle up and put your phones down. This reminder to drive safe, boat safe, brought to you by Price & Randall, Injury Attorneys.
During this chapter of life, We are really taking the time to enjoy the little things.
So it was important to have our final wishes pre-planned so our family wouldn't be burdened later on.
Hedges Scott Millard made it simple, but thorough. They provided us with different options right here in the comfort of our home.
We are so glad that we planned ahead. Now a whole lot more of this, a little of this, all with the peace of mind we wanted.
At Hedges Scott Millard, we believe that every day is a gift, and so is every life. Take time to enjoy it.
What's up, Lake of the Ozarks? Wild Will inviting you to tune in for our next Lotto Homes with Peggy Albers.
I'm so glad you made it, Will. We have the Anheuser-Busch corporate compound that's getting reduced $2 million today, so I'm glad that you made it.
Incredible news, and you're about to get a personal, private tour of the Busch family compound on our next Lake TV Lotto Homes.
It's a must-see.
All right, and welcome back. We are live here at Seven Springs Winery on Lake TV. We've now got the prosecutors debate coming up. This is the one that everybody's really been excited about. I think this is going to be a really good debate. I'm just going to go over these debate rules once more, and then we'll be off and running here. This debate is structured so that it does not promote or advance any one candidate over another. The use of technology during the debate, such as smartphones, is prohibited. Time limits on statements, answers, rebuttals, and responses will be enforced by the moderator. A display time card indicating 10 seconds remaining will be utilized, which is right here in the front. Candidates are not permitted to use props or visuals of any kind. They can, however, take notes. The debate is divided into subject areas. An example would be budgets, campaign positions, background and experience, etc. All candidates have been provided with the general subject topics to be debated, but not the questions. Moderators will present a question to a candidate and will allow rebuttal responses from their opponent, as well as follow-up to the candidate. All right, and we're going to announce we have Attorney Lynn Brand, who is running for prosecutor, challenging the incumbent, Rochelle Grosvenor. And we're going to start off here with a 2-minute opening statement. And Lynn, you get to go first.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone, this evening. I appreciate you all coming out to see us. I appreciate participation and interest in what's happening in our county. I'm excited to be running for prosecutor, and I would love to have the opportunity to improve things and just ensure that everyone's voice is heard and that we have a better rapport with all law enforcement and members of the community and victims, and I believe that I can make that happen. And so I would appreciate your vote on August 4th.
Thank you, Lynn. And Rochelle, you have a 2-minute opening statement.
I'm Rochelle Grosvenor. I'm the current Camden County prosecutor, and I'm going to tell you that running for office is really, really hard. I want to congratulate all the people from yesterday and today that chose to do this. One of the main reasons that I think this is so hard is because when you are a legitimately good person and then you decide to run for office, everything you say, people filter through the lens of you're running for office. And so my first priority is my relationship with Jesus, and second is my family. And so why am I running? Why did I run in 22? And why am I running now? Because of my children. This community gave my children opportunities that I don't believe that they could have gotten anywhere else. Our son went to high school. He wanted to go to college on a cross-country scholarship. He got to do that. Our daughter wanted to go to the United States Naval Academy, and as many of you know how hard that is to do, this community gave her the opportunity to do that. When my son made it to college, he found a wife, and we now have a granddaughter. When Grace went to the United States Naval Academy, she found a husband, and when she graduated, she got to be congratulated and was able to shake the hands of J.D. Vance. Now, for her, that was a big deal. She was a Trump fan since before she was even able to vote, but J.D. Vance was a really nice second. This is what the community has done for me and my family. I am a 25-year trial attorney, a criminal law attorney, 15 years of that as a prosecutor. This is my way to give back to the community, to show up to work, to do the right thing, to be the prosecutor that you can be proud of When I started, I built a team. I recruited people. Your Camden County Prosecutor's Office is some of the best prosecutors in the state. And we'll get to talk more about that as we go along, but I would appreciate your vote in August.
Thank you, Rochelle. And question one, just keep that mic. Rochelle, it's to you. What is your standard for filing a criminal case? Where do you draw the line between filing charges or asking for more investigation? You have 2 minutes to respond.
Many of you know that my very first job was right here in this area as a public defender. Within the first couple of months, I had 3 jury trials because I went to my boss and I said, I want to be a trial attorney. My family all lived in Marys County, so that community recognized my desire to be a prosecutor, and so I was appointed within 1 year of passing the bar as the Marys County prosecutor. Me and a secretary. And I tried cases, I served our community, and what you learn over time is that when you are making charging decisions, that you have to understand that the police can arrest on probable cause, and the prosecutor's responsibility is to be able to have proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, the judge, when I was the Marys County prosecutor, was a defense attorney turned judge, and he taught me something very important. He said, the stroke of a pen as a prosecutor, you change people's lives. Can you imagine if your son, your nephew, somebody that you cared about, a prosecutor with probable cause, signed on the dotted line that your loved one committed a crime, a sexual crime against a child? As the prosecutor, you have to have judgment, you have to have experience, you have to know, is this a case that we would file based on probable cause and we can continue the investigation and make this case, or is this something where we have to wait and we have to collect more information? Our communities are great in protecting our children. There's child order protections, there's children's division, there's the juvenile office. Prosecutors' offices should never rush to making a charge against someone because you can absolutely destroy somebody's life if you're not careful.
Thank you, Rochelle. And Lynn Brand, you have a 1-minute rebuttal.
Thank you. I agree that you can destroy someone's life, but there's other people's lives who are involved in that decision. So while we need to make sure that we are making great charging decisions where we have enough information, the prosecutor's job under Supreme Court Rule 4.3.8 says that we are not to make any charges that we do not have probable cause to believe they did that. So we do have the same standard as far as what we can and cannot file. And I think that what we need to understand is that discretion that we have, we may need to get more information before we make that decision, as Ms. Grosvenor said. But I think that there's more than just the defendant's life on the line there. There's a victim who we need to be explaining things to and making sure that they understand what needs to happen in the case, and also just make sure that we're doing the right thing. And that's really what our job is to do the right thing.
Thank you, Lynn. And Rochelle, 1-minute follow-up.
So of course the job of the prosecutor is to seek justice. Whenever you go to prosecutor training, that's what they teach you. Seek justice, seek justice. That's a very broad term, right? What does justice mean? And having the experience, knowing the people in your community that can make sure that people are protected, make sure that people are safe, to allow the prosecutor to make the accurate charging decisions is critical. And so it comes down to being able to, it's what I call, you have to know what a case is worth. And when you have experience and you are able to do that, I recently read an amazing article that called the prosecutor the conscience of the community. And I really want you to think about the prosecutor as being the conscience of the community as we seek justice and make sure that what we're doing is the right thing when we do it.
All right, thank you, Rochelle. Lynn, this question's for you. The prosecutor's office employs, on average, 20 employees with a $1.7 million budget. What experience do you have in supervising employees and managing large budgets?
So I don't have a lot of experience in that area. I have managed my own law firm where it's me, and I've had many, assistants that are in my office with me. But for the most part, it's just been my office, my budget, my employees. And I have done a good job of managing that on my own. I obviously don't have a $1.7 million budget at my disposal in my office. And I think that it's important to really manage that well and make sure that you're not spending more than you need to on things, and just to really, have a common sense approach to what we spend money on. I mean, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, we just planned a vacation. Obviously, everyone has some experience in budgeting and knowing how to manage money and take care of things. And so I think that it's just something that you have to look at on a monthly basis to make sure that you are spending the money that is given to you by the county wisely.
All right, thanks, Lynn. Rochelle, you have a 1-minute rebuttal.
So as your elected prosecutor, I run the prosecuting attorney's office like I did when I was in private practice. We run it like a business. But if you are going to work for the prosecutor's office and you are going to think that it's a government job, you are going to find that you are not going to have a job in the prosecutor's office anymore. We care very much about the fact that these are taxpayer dollars that are being used to support the Camden County prosecutor's office. The other thing, just to kind of touch on budgets and money and fiscal responsibility, that something that I want you to understand about my husband and I, kind of back to the political comment, we fund our entire, every time I ran for office, my husband and I have funded that because, again, fiscal responsibility, and I never want anybody to think that we received money or that there was anything about a campaign donation that impacted a decision. So financial responsibility is both ways for us.
Lynn, you get a 1-minute follow-up.
Perfect. I agree that we need to make sure that we're spending money wisely. At this point in the campaign, I'm also self-funding up to this point, so I understand the importance of that as well. And I don't want to take money from anyone and let that be something that even has the appearance that there would be something where I'm affiliated with that person and have to do something that they would say. That would never happen, and I just want to assure everyone of that. But as far as running an office and managing employees and managing a budget, I can do that.
Thank you, Lynn. And the next question number 3, is to Rochelle. In the Wisdom child molestation case, charges were dismissed because of alleged chain of custody, failures, and evidence mishandling. Critics say there was a taped confession and witness statements that was ignored by you. These critics argue your office publicly shifted blame to the sheriff's office after this emotionally charged case collapsed. Does your office bear any responsibility for the outcome? 2-minute response.
So I do understand that the Wisdom case has been in the news. Again, the prosecutor is the conscience of the community, and we are here to seek justice. And so if you saw in the news recently the Darren Skinner case, employees of my office are the people who saved the Darren Skinner case. He is now in federal prison on child pornography charges because of employees of my office who put that case back together. Those same people reviewed the Wisdom case, and we met with the sheriff's office. I want everyone to understand that. Everyone was on the same page about the problems with the wisdom case, the problems with the evidence, and what the result was going to be. Everybody in the room, employees of the sheriff's office, employees of the prosecutor's office, everybody understood that that case could not move forward. And as the conscience of the community, we cannot hold somebody in jail when we don't have evidence to prove them guilty. So here's what I want. Lynn's the attorney for the sheriff's office. Lynn needs to go back to Chris, get me a couple names. We have people right over here, law enforcement. Get me a couple of names. We will agree on somebody. We will bring them into the office. They can sign a confidentiality agreement. They can review the evidence. It is a lie that there's a signed confession or a victim that can testify. That is a lie. And if the sheriff and Lynn do not move forward and give me a couple of names of somebody who can independently review that and make a statement to the public, then you all, as the public, will know that it is completely false, because it is, that there is a confession and a victim that can testify. If they decide not to do that, you will know that that is where the lie has come from, and never from the prosecutor's office.
Thank you, Rochelle. And Lynn, a 1-minute rebuttal.
Thank you. I was not involved in the wisdom case, and I don't have a lot of information about that case. I understand that Rochelle is offering this up as a way to throw a lifeline to the sheriff's department to try to fix that, and I'm happy to be the go-between and ask the sheriff if there is someone who could come in and do an independent review of the evidence. At this point, I don't know that it's ever going to be possible to move forward with that case just based on the amount of information that's been given to the public at this point. But if we can move forward with it, I would be most happy to make that happen. I do think that the most important thing to learn from the wisdom case is not just whether it should have been dismissed or not dismissed, but the way that it was handled, I disagree with. I think that there should have been some internal handling of that, and it should not have been so public that the county and the citizens of the county lost faith in both the sheriff's office and the prosecutor's office in the disagreement on that case. That's all.
Thank you, Lynn. And Rochelle, 1-minute follow-up.
Yeah, I'm not talking about getting together to move the case forward. The sheriff said that the feds are going to prosecute that. It's not a prosecutable case. The feds are never going to prosecute that case. What I'm suggesting is that the public needs to understand the actual reality. We had that meeting. We all understood that that case could never move forward. And then all of a sudden, a public statement about there's a confession and a victim that can testify. I'm sorry that somebody came out and lied to the public. I absolutely hate that. I don't want there to be questions about the criminal justice system, ever. But that never came from my office. My office never, ever said it was a prosecutable case after the sheriff's office had messed up the evidence to the extent that they did. So the ask is, have an independent person tell the public, be transparent about what the truth is, and if they don't, then we'll know that there is no confession or a victim that can testify.
Okay, thank you, Rochelle. Lynn, you are promising to restore relationships with the sheriff's office. Several high-ranking members of that same sheriff's office are publicly supporting you, and you are currently employed by the sheriff's office as its attorney. How can voters trust that you would be able to remain objective and fulfill your role as an important legal gatekeeper of the criminal justice system?
Okay. Because that's the job of the prosecutor. The job of the prosecutor is to have a good relationship with all law enforcement, not just the sheriff's department. And I think that you have to have that. And my role right now at the sheriff's office doesn't really have a lot to do with criminal cases. It has more to do with ensuring that they are following rules and procedure and advising them on things. And sometimes I advise them on things and they don't like what I tell them. And that's the same thing that would happen as the prosecutor. It's your job to be that go-between, be the link that is able to review the case, look at the case, tell them whether or not there's enough evidence there to move forward with a viable case. If it's a viable case and it just needs more investigation, then you tell them that and you give them the opportunity to do that so that then you can move forward ethically with that case and filing it.
Thank you. Rochelle, you have 1 minute rebuttal.
Recently, the sheriff went to a commission meeting and said in the commission meeting, you can go back and look, that she had a conflict in running for prosecutor and being the sheriff's attorney at the same time. She needs to answer whether or not she's still employed as the attorney for the sheriff's office or not. My understanding is that she is. So what happened to that conflict? And I know that Facebook land says that if she wins, she won't have a conflict being the prosecutor on the sheriff's office cases. Yes, she will. And you, as the voting public, have to understand how expensive that is going to be for our community to have to get a special prosecutor on the cases. She has a duty to her client, who's the sheriff's office, which is not the same as being the prosecutor and your obligations. It is going to cost a fortune if she wins in special prosecutor money because of her conflicts.
Lynn, you have a 1 minute follow-up.
I would disagree with that. I don't think that there's a conflict with that any more than any other prosecutor talking to any of the law enforcement about a case. I don't represent them in criminal cases. That's not my job. So my job is to advise them. I do that. I am still employed with them. They are seeking to find someone to replace me if I get the job as prosecutor, obviously. And so there were some negotiations about that, and obviously that's going to happen, and I understand that. And if they want me to stay on until that happens, I'm fine with that, and that's what we discussed. I don't think that there's a conflict in running and doing that. I think it shows really that there's the ability to communicate with them and advise them and just be able to have a normal conversation and trust.
Thank you, Lynn. And question number 5 is to Rochelle. Rochelle, your own published media policy says prosecutors should avoid statements that could prejudice cases or comment on witness credibility. Did your public comments about a detective being unreliable violate the spirit of your own policy? 2-minute response.
No, I think that as far as transparency goes, just like Roland was talking about with that job, prosecutors have very specific rules as it relates to pending cases, things that we can and cannot talk about. But I want to be as transparent with the public as I possibly can. We had conversations, we meaning me and my staff had conversations with the sheriff's office about Detective McGuire and the problems that he was creating for the cases. You have to understand that when prosecutors come to work, we want justice. That's what we want. And Cody McGuire is quite simply getting in between us and being able to get justice on these cases, period. And we talked about that with the sheriff's office. And since then, he's been promoted. So I don't understand what the sheriff's position has been on Cody McGuire, but why would you ever keep somebody in a position where they have access to cases that are going to be the problem in the case? And what I simply mean by that is that when a case has him involved, the defense attorneys will always make the case be about him, and it will not be about the defendant. And none of us wants that. Again, seeking justice, there is no justice when the defense attorney gets to make the case be about a person, a detective, and shifts the focus away from the defendant. So it's an effort to be transparent. I'm not done. I have more that I have to talk about with the public to be transparent as it relates to the sheriff's office. But keep in mind, the only issue is the sheriff's office. I work with 9 other agencies. Nobody has any problems except the sheriff's office. And she's their attorney, by the way, and she's running for prosecutor, so go figure.
Thank you, Rochelle. And Lynn, 1-minute rebuttal.
Thank you. I'm not exactly sure how to respond to that, other than just to say that I'm not running so that I can rubber stamp cases from the sheriff's office. That is not what I'm doing. I am running because I believe that there is a need to have a better relationship with law enforcement overall. And I know that we like to make statements about things, and I don't know if there are other law enforcement agencies out there that have issues with the prosecutor's office. I don't know that. You can say lots of things, that doesn't make them true. Just like I don't believe that there's going to be an excessive expense in having a special prosecutor come in and prosecute cases in the event that there were a conflict. And that can happen with anyone who becomes a prosecutor. It's just inevitable that I'm going to have some kind of interaction with some party in a case. It happens with prosecutors, it happens with judges, and we move on. And there is a way to deal with that.
Thank you, Lynn. And Rochelle, 1 minute follow-up.
I talk to law enforcement officers all the time from all the different agencies, and we work really well together. If someone was really interested in being the Camden County prosecutor, that should be the first step, is talking to law enforcement outside of just the Camden County Sheriff's Office. And just to come back, she stated that she's not in criminal cases, but the case that I had to be transparent with the public about Dakota McGuire is the Anthony Lane case. She filed motions on behalf of the sheriff's office in that case, which is a criminal case. So how can you say that you're not in criminal cases when you're filing motions on behalf of the sheriff's office? Motions, by the way, to keep the prosecutor's office from getting the evidence that we ethically have to have. But she is in criminal cases, and I don't understand why she said she's not.
Okay, thank you, Rochelle. Lynn, how do you approach the decision between negotiating plea agreements or taking cases to trial? And what principles guide and inform that choice? You have 2 minutes.
Thank you. So I think that everyone obviously wants every case to go to trial, and that's just impractical. That can't happen. That would not be a good use of resources in the prosecutor's office. So plea agreements happen so that we can move cases along. There's nothing wrong with plea agreements as long as you are essentially getting to a point where the punishment for the crime is sufficient to deter that individual from recommitting. And in addition to that, to tell the rest of the public that, hey, this is what's going to happen if you are charged with this crime. Essentially just creating that standard of this is the way things are going to go. As far as whether or not to do a plea, I think that if it's appropriate, then you do that. If it's not appropriate, I think in every case you can make an acceptable offer. It may not be an offer that the defense likes. I've certainly in my practice been made many offers that were, you have to go to trial at that point because the offer's not good enough to warrant not having a trial. And so I think you always have to be prepared to have a trial, but there's nothing wrong with getting a conviction through a plea.
Thank you. Rochelle, you have 1 minute rebuttal.
Plea agreements are simply part of the system. Lynn's never prosecuted anything that I know of in her career, and that's going to be very challenging if you don't know, like I said before, what a case is worth. If you want to spend 99 cents out of every dollar that you make in taxes, we could have trials on everything. We could keep people in jail pre-trial for years at a time, but nobody really wants that. And the purpose of prosecutors and trials is that when a defense attorney says, my client's not taking the deal, we're trying the case, prosecutors have to be able to say, let's take it to trial. And they have to have the experience to do that. I've never heard Lynn say that she's ever had a jury trial ever in her career. Please correct me if you have. But those are complications from being the elected prosecutor. If you haven't tried a case, you have to be willing to do that to make sure that you can hold the offenders accountable.
Well, Lynn, you're going to get 1 minute follow-up.
Thank you. So no, I have not prosecuted cases. I worked administratively, which was similar, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have experience as a prosecutor. I do not. I have experience as a trial attorney, and I have represented lots of clients over the years and had many, many trials. And in the process of that, you do evaluate cases and find out what they're worth. It may not have the same criminal elements that she's talking about, but a case is a case, and you either have the evidence or you don't. I've never had a perfect case, and so sometimes you have to weigh whether the evidence that you have is enough to warrant, taking it to trial, or whether it's better to settle for something a little less than that. The same thing happens if in the situation of a prosecutor. As far as a jury trial, no, I have not had a jury trial. I had a case set for a jury trial. It was a first-degree murder trial, and the prosecutor's office dismissed that case about a week before the trial was to take place because, my office had done a really good job in going out and collecting evidence and making sure that we had evidence to prove that there was a reasonable doubt.
Thank you, Lynn. And question number 7 to Rochelle. You requested security upgrades, rekeyed locks, and cameras after learning detectives were secretly recording you and other prosecutors. What specific security threat did you believe existed? 2-minute response.
So we've asked for multiple security upgrades. I'm sure you can imagine that as prosecutors, the defendants and their families don't like us. Listening to jail calls, the inmates want Lynn to be the next prosecutor because our office is successful and we do a really good job. Victims occasionally get mad at us too because sometimes we end up with a victim who wants to use the criminal justice system to aid in their divorce, for example. So sometimes they get frustrated with us. And sometimes law enforcement gets frustrated with us as well. There's a legit death threat against me right now from a defendant's father. And so we've asked repeatedly for security upgrades just so that my staff feels safe whenever we leave. Many of you have heard me talk about court going until midnight sometimes. Just last week it went until 9 o'clock at night. That can be scary for people who leave. We literally have an exit right next to where the jail exit is. And so we have asked for that. The purpose of these security upgrades as it relates to the secret recording, that's unprecedented. You don't have a detective ever come into a prosecutor's office and secretly record a conversation with the prosecutor. You don't ever do that. That is unprecedented, particularly when the purpose of the meeting was to go over the detective's problems in prior depositions as it relates to his ability to manage evidence. And so by secretly recording in my office and then by secretly recording in their office just a few days later, and then she filed to run for prosecutor a week later. I mean, all of this stuff, like secret recordings are not part of the political climate in Camden County ever. I mean, the purpose of the upgrades for my office as it relates to the secret recordings was so that we would know who was coming in and out of our office. If you're willing to come into my office and secretly record me in a way that's going to negatively impact my ability to do the job, then I want to know who's coming into my office.
Thank you, Rochelle. And Lynn, you have a 1-minute rebuttal.
Thank you. I think that having security issues goes with the job of prosecutor or with really any attorney. There's lots of attorneys who have been injured or harmed by clients because, let's face it, nobody likes attorneys. So I do understand the security issue. I do not understand how that necessarily relates to the recordings. The recordings, I think there's probably, I would like to know what upgrades needed to be made in order to make the office safer. I think that you do have a way to know who comes in and out of your office. And so if that doesn't already exist, I would hope that it does now. But I mean, I don't think that recordings are something that's really new to Camden County politics. I think that there were recordings the last time that we had a prosecutor elected. So quite honestly, I don't think that anyone should be surprised by that. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. But
thank you, Lynn. And Rochelle, 1-minute follow-up.
Yeah, so before we asked for the security upgrades, the only way we could know who came in and out of our office was by asking the sheriff's office. And of course, their employees are the ones who secretly recorded us. And again, I just need to make sure that the point is very clear. Those secret recordings have negatively impacted countless cases. Cody McGuire specifically worked on cases with child victims. I'm sure you saw the article this week, or last week, I'm sorry, relating to the extra money it's going to cost, because we had cases that were set to plead, and because of those secret recordings and the information that was on there, those defense attorneys have withdrawn their agreement to plead, and so now we have to do depositions on all those cases again. Those secret recordings negatively impacted the prosecutor's office ability to seek justice and negatively impacted victims.
Thanks, Rochelle. Lynn, what is your position on publicly disclosing misconduct by law enforcement if it could damage a case or public confidence, but may be ethically necessary under Brady disclosure requirements?
Obviously, you have to follow the law, and if there's an actual Brady issue, then you have to disclose that to defense counsel. That's the job of the prosecutor. There has to be, and this goes back to there needs to be a better relationship between the two offices. If there's something that you believe is an issue, then you should go to that office and you should talk to them and find out if there's a way to remedy that through some sort of additional training, some way to preserve that officer and keep them there. And I'm not talking about something serious, I'm talking about something small. If that officer can be preserved, then we want to keep them there. If they cannot, then absolutely there needs to be something done where that is disclosed to the office, that you need to write a letter to the law enforcement agency and let them know that you will not be prosecuting those cases. So I would agree with that, but it has to rise to that level. And I do not believe that it should be out in the public for everyone to know about. I mean, obviously, we talked about how filing charges against someone could ruin their life. Obviously, saying those things about an officer could ruin their life, and they would be out of a job and probably out of a job anywhere else. So I don't think that it's something that should be a knee-jerk reaction because you're upset.
Thank you, Lynn. Rochelle, you have 1 minute rebuttal.
Chris Edgar took office January of 2025. After he won and before he even started, I was having conversations with him about problem employees, specifically two. I was told multiple times that the problems were going to be taken care of, and both of those people, instead of the problem being taken care of, they've been promoted, both of them. I've had multiple conversations with Chris. Many of you know, we worked together in the prosecutor's office. He was the investigator. He was my friend when he ran. But it is not the prosecutor's responsibility to police the police. We're supposed to bring this to the police's attention. And by the way, we have done this with multiple other agencies, and they have fixed the problem. The sheriff's office is the one who, instead of dealing with the problems, promotes them. And she's been the attorney. If she was interested in fixing this, she's been their attorney this whole time since before Chris even started.
Lynn, you have a 1 minute follow-up.
So my job as the attorney for the sheriff's office is to advise them when they ask me. I'm not going to insert myself and tell them what they should do. That's not my job. My job is to advise when asked. I can't just go in and make them do things. Obviously, if they ask me, I'm going to advise them, and there has been some times when they have asked me questions. And I filed motions because there was a subpoena, and they had asked me to file something to quash that subpoena because the information on the recording had to do with many other cases, not just the one. And there was never an issue with providing the information to the prosecutor's office, which did happen. And that was what I told them to do. I said, you have to give it to them. And so the motion was really just to keep it out of that one case. So it wasn't that we were trying to not give the information to the prosecutor's office, and I realized that it was interpreted that way.
Thank you. And question 9 is to Rochelle. Republican voters nationwide worry prosecutors have become either too soft on crime or too politically motivated. How would you describe your prosecutorial philosophy in practical terms, not campaign slogans? 2-minute response.
I'm telling you, your Camden County Prosecutor's Office has a fantastic team. If you're voting for me, you're actually voting for us. It is an amazing group of people that I worked to recruit with decades of prosecutorial experience. My team is not going to be Lynn's team. You need to understand that. I would like to know who she would bring in as her team, because it's not going to be my team. Me and God have conversations a lot, and I laugh because I'm an introvert and I don't have time for fake. And this is the job, God, that you want me to have, is running for office as an introvert and somebody who doesn't do fake. So I'm giving you facts, I'm giving you information. That's how I operate. That's how I run the prosecutor's office. Seeking justice is the job. That's literally why we show up to work every day. If you see me get mad, it's because somebody is interfering with our ability to do our job. But the prosecutors are the ones who have to sit down with these victims and their families and explain, I'm so sorry, but this case is going to turn into being about a detective and not about the person that hurt you. We all remember Mark Furman. We all know, anybody over the age of 50 knows Mark Furman. We know what they did in the OJ trial. That's what we're talking about. I don't want to give political statements. I want you to know that we show up and we do our job, and we do it really well. I brought our felony convictions. This is 1 month, the first month that we started. These are all convictions. CamdenCountyMoProsecutor.org, you can find these. You can see the kind of cases that we have. You can see the sentences. A lot of drugs and alcohol, of course, but there's burglaries and there's tamperings and there's crimes against children in here. We don't prosecute crimes against children. Somebody in here in January got 30 years. Julie Roden, by the way, she's an assistant prosecutor. That was her case, 30 years. Please go and look at our actual felony convictions and the work that we're doing, and you'll know that this is not politics. This is just us doing the job.
Thank you. And as a reminder, no props or visuals allowed. Lynn Brand, 1-minute response.
Thank you. So I think your job as a prosecutor is exactly that, to do your job, to prosecute cases, to ensure that the community feels safe by the way that you're prosecuting those cases, and that victims feel like they have been heard and understood and know the process, and that, you know, if something's going to go bad, you need to call them yourself and you need to sit down with them and you need to have that hard conversation. But I know that the last time we talked, just to, you know, not to use props, but the last time we talked, there was a lot of numbers talk. And so I went and I pulled records and looked up how many cases there are. And it's pretty easy to figure out how many cases are on CaseNet because they each are assigned a case number for every criminal case. So in 25, you do 25 CM, and then you do CR, and then there's 5 more numbers after that. And so in 25, there's roughly 1,400 cases, maybe a little more. But you can find out how many there are, and you can ask the clerk's office for information on how many files there are. And there's about 500 felony cases filed every year.
Thank you. And 1-minute follow-up to Rochelle.
Lynn doesn't understand criminal law and criminal procedure, and I understand that because she's never had this job before, but that's not how you track cases. We charge approximately 3,000 cases a year. She's looking at ones that are just not accurate. But again, highlighting the felonies and stuff, that will be on our website, but it is on average between 2,500 and 3,000 cases that we process. Camden County is different. We have a lot of felonies. We have a lot of serious crime. It's not like Laclede County where their numbers might be the same, but they're on I-44, so you have a lot more traffic. Ours are a lot more felony, like I said, drugs and alcohol, of course. But please get the accurate information whenever you are researching. And by the way, Lynn's just been lied to. She's been told it's an administrative job. Camden County Prosecutor's Office has so many cases. The elected prosecutor is never just an administrative job.
Thank you, Rochelle. Lynn, why should voters elect you as prosecutor? What specifically will you do differently or better than Rochelle?
Well, I do believe that I have the experience, despite what Rochelle believes I've been told, what I've said. I can do the job. I don't have prosecution experience, but I do have trial experience, like I explained. I think that those skills transfer. Being a lawyer is being a lawyer, and it transfers. And I do understand how the law works, and I understand how CaseNet works, and I understand how criminal cases are filed. I would just take a different stance on how cases are handled within the office. I think that there should be some systems and different mechanisms. I appreciate the new website. I looked at it while I was on vacation and saw the mug shots that are on there. And I think that's helpful. I think that does give the public a sense that things are happening. But I think that realistically, I think that you just need to get in there and do the job on a daily basis and have, good communication with victims, have good communications with all of your witnesses, regardless of whether they're law enforcement or the Camden County Sheriff's Office or some other law enforcement office. And no one has told me that the job is an administrative job. I fully expect to be prosecuting cases. That's why I said I would do this. So thank you.
Rochelle, you have a 1-minute rebuttal.
The best way that I can explain it is kind of in the medical field. If you needed a brain surgery and you are confident in going to your foot doctor to do your brain surgery because they're both doctors, you should absolutely vote for Lynn because they're both doctors. We're both lawyers. But like I said, she doesn't have a fundamental understanding of criminal law or criminal practice. And so it's easy to say words like, I talk to law enforcement and I would talk to victims. Are you confident with having your foot doctor do your brain surgery? The answer should be no. And we should not place the Camden County Prosecutor's Office in the hands of somebody who's never prosecuted before, never done any jury trials before, doesn't have relevant experience. It needs to stay with the people that can do the job and have been doing the job.
Lynn, you have 1 minute for follow-up.
So I think that was a very simplified metaphor. I'm not a foot doctor asking to do brain surgery on anyone here. I'm just asking to be able to have a shot at doing the job as prosecutor, and I think I can do it better. I also believe that there are cases out there, and we talk about experience and how I don't have experience being a prosecutor. Well, I've never done a jury trial, but if you look and see how many jury trials have been won, there's not that many. So I don't know that the experience that she's talking about is necessarily getting the results that the voters want. So I would just encourage all of you to do the research, look and see what cases have been prosecuted, what has happened, how many jury trials have been won, how many jury trials have been lost. Thank you.
So now we're going to go to closing statements as we get ready to finish this part of the debate. There are going to be 2-minute closing statements from each candidate. Lynn, you're going to start with your 2-minute closing statement.
Thank you. I appreciate everyone coming tonight. And again, just thank you for giving me the opportunity to get to know everyone. And I hope to come out and and really talk to everyone and get that message out as far as what I believe that I can do and what I can do for the community. I feel like the community needs someone who's a little more approachable and someone who can talk to victims and law enforcement. I also believe that you need someone in there who can have a strong hand as far as leading a team of people, and I believe that I can do that. And so I appreciate everyone here, and I just hope that you come out and vote. And if you have questions for me, by all means, reach out. I'm pretty easy to find and easy to talk to. So I would be happy to answer any other questions that anyone might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Rochelle, it's your 2-minute closing statement.
Thank you all also for coming out. I really appreciate the opportunity to visit with you. You just simply need to ask her some questions. My team is not her team. So who is your team going to be, Lynn? We had 4 murders, I think, in the first couple of months in 23 when we started. We get routine phone calls in the middle of the night. It's basically a legal pop quiz. How are you going to answer those questions, Lynn? In the middle of the night, 3 a.m. phone calls. If you don't have basic understanding of criminal law and criminal procedure, you can't be there for law enforcement because you can't answer their questions because you don't know how to do the job. This is what real life prosecuting is. It's hard. It is so hard. And I encourage my people the best I can because we are constantly on call. We are constantly being woken up. We do blood draws in the middle of the night. We answer difficult questions in the middle of the night. If you don't have experience, you're not going to be able to do those kinds of things. It's not like you can just prepare and then show up. I have 25, almost 26 years as a criminal law trial attorney. This is what I do. It's what I'm passionate about. The whole team is really good. We desperately want to work with the sheriff's office, but don't tell me it's not a little odd that we had 2 secret recordings back to back and then she files to run for prosecutor. I mean, we want to work with the sheriff's office. Do you want to know how it gets fixed like that? The sheriff's office gets an attorney that understands criminal law and criminal procedure and can advise them on how to fix these things. Because the only way I have found so far is they are not addressing the issues, and so I have to be transparent with the public. They get a different attorney, that can instantly change, and we are working with the sheriff's office again. So as I said when I introduced myself, I would appreciate your vote. If you have any questions, please ask. We are literally here for you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks you to both of you. We're going to be concluding the debates for the night. Let's give them all a big hand here. And again, thanks to Lake TV and Seven Springs Winery for allowing us to have this great venue. And important note, when you're leaving, you're going to go left and then left at the sign and then left again at the valley to exit. If you don't do that, you're going to end up facing a dumpster and 2 raccoons behind the winery. Okay.